Hey. All right, ladies, how are you?
Hello, hello.
How are you guys doing? Was
I am
today a
good.
good day, a busy day? What happened today? My day was so busy, but it was good.
It was good. It was good. It was good.
Good. Was it busy or quiet?
For me, mostly quiet. I serve it for Mondays, so it was mostly quiet. It's
Oh,
a long time.
oh, wonderful. Wonderful. It's the quiet for me. Sundays, I usually kind of pull back. Venetia, how was your day, girl?
Crazy busy,
I know,
nonstop. I
right? You
actually
was
I
working all
closed
day.
listen, I closed the laptop like around 4:45. I turned on my recording on my DVR and I just started watching like Housewives of Atlanta. I just started catching up on everything. I'm like, I'm tired. Yes.
Listen. I know, right? We had a good day. It was productive and excited you guys are getting on here tonight. Everybody go ahead and share this feed, text your friends, your family, let them know that we are live tonight. We're about to get into some tea. Okay, so I think I'm getting a little bit of feedback. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mute. Oh man, I was gonna mute her. Okay, let me see. All right. Um, Okay, there we go. So I'm excited. We're going to have a really great conversation tonight. Thanks everybody for jumping on. I think that you guys are going to find this conversation very enlightening and hopefully putting you in a position to be able to really build wealth. Because right now, what we have, the opportunities that we have are pretty big and they're pretty amazing. So, just to tell you a little bit about myself, I have been in crypto really heavy in the last 7 years. And I was blessed to build a seven-figure portfolio in cryptocurrency. And then in 2016, 17, I took a lot of those profits and started moving them over to hard assets. And so I was buying properties almost every week for a season in the city of Detroit. And it was really just because I had a wealth mentor. Because the reality is, had I not had that mentorship, I wouldn't have been able to make those moves. Only one property I actually saw first, Brianna, before I bought it, Benicia. But pretty much I was just taking his word for it. He was calling like, "Hey, take a look at this, take a look at this," and I trusted him because we have the same godfather, and so he did. He built a really nice real estate portfolio for our godfather, and then he did it for himself. And so I was like, "Hey, bro, can you do it again?" And he did. And so I've always really valued mentorship at a very high level. But I can tell you that most of the moves that I made, whether it was in digital assets or hard assets, was honest to God, it was just having the right mentors and understanding timing because every deal is not the same. And so last year, a very good friend of mine, Kenny Lloyd, reached out to me and said, "Hey, Jewel, what are you doing right now in the world of investing?" Kenny and I made multiple millions, 2007, 2010. And then he went on to start a company by the name of Tava with 6 nutritional products, and it's done very well. Him and his wife, Chantel, have done very well. And we were just kind of talking about, how you have friends from years ago that are doing really well. And then you have some that maybe not as much, and we were just saying how blessed we were to be really good stewards over our money and make the right moves. And so he said, "Hey, I want to let's do this again, let's partner again." And he said, "Why don't you pull together a team of people that you feel like can help take the average everyday person and become really strong in investing?" And so two of these people we're going to have an opportunity to hear from tonight, Brianna Anderson and Benicia Poole Watson. Both are just really phenomenal geniuses in what they do. We talk often because we're doing our own private deals as well as helping other people do deals. And so I think what we have is really special. And so Brianna, I'm going to start with you really quickly. I reached out to you because I knew you as like the credit guru, and not just credit in terms of building it from a consumer standpoint, but really credit to be able to buy assets. And then I wanted to make sure that before we got them to Benicia, who owns her own bank, so proud of her, that, you know, we actually had their credit together. Because if their credit is not together, not that she can't give approvals, because she can, but obviously we want to put people in a position where their interest rate, they can get the absolute best interest rate. And so Brianna teaches every single week on this platform. You'll have access to Benicia's bank that are responsible for giving, I think, probably more approvals to people of color and minorities than anything that I've seen. And I've just been very impressed with the entire process. And so, Brianna, will you just tell us really quickly some of the things that you're going to be teaching people here on how to actually build that credit so that they can use it to buy assets?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Dr. Jewel. I'm super excited to be here with you ladies on tonight. So in Top of Verse, I'm going to be teaching how to restore your credit legally. You know, one of the things that I think people have a misconception about is credit restoration is hard. You know, it's going to take a long time and this and that, but really it's not. All you got to know is the laws, you know, and so what we're doing is we're educating those who are part of Top of Verse's platform with the education of the credit laws, the consumer laws. Like, you know, it's not just about is the debt yours or, you know, your credit card utilization is high. It's so much deeper than that. And so what we're doing is we're showing them how to actually get their mindset of understanding that if they want to become asset builders, the first thing that you would want to do really is to get that credit score where it needs to be, because you can leverage that credit to obtain hard assets. And just from a wealth building standpoint, most people right now don't have just $25,000, $100,000, $250,000 just sitting in the bank. They just absolutely don't have it, but they have the vision to get into real estate, but they don't understand that one of the greatest tools you can have is money that you don't have. And that is what credit is. And so that's what we're teaching in Top of Verse.
Yeah, that's really, really strong. And I think there's a misnomer that most people feel like, you know, I want to stay out of debt, which I think, you know, there's a big difference between bad debt and good debt. Debt being able to use to build assets is a whole nother thing. So Benicia, you, of course, your bank is doing gangbusters. We already have had a lot of people that have been approved, including myself. Yes. But just talk about what made you really, you know, decide that you wanted to put a focus on, like you said, because there are not a lot of people of color that own banks, definitely not a lot of Black women at large. So kind of talk about what your bank specializes in, because I want people to know on here that, like, we're going to help you go from beginning to the credit to actually getting funded, really putting you in a position to be able to actually get that approval.
Yeah, so essentially, I have a federally chartered non-depository bank. So I finance residential and commercial real estate nationwide up to $650 million. So that basically covers everything in the space of real estate. You can't go wrong doing business with my bank. From beginning to end, the process is pretty streamlined, whether it's a commercial transaction or a residential. It's going to take at least 24 hours for you to get your pre-approval and your financials to be looked at. And within 18 to 23 days is our average time to close. So essentially, the reason why I started this bank is because I've been in real estate for over 20 years. I started as an investor, buying and holding and flipping. I got a real estate license. I started selling real estate. And then I started developing real estate and building homes. So essentially, my understanding of real estate started just by myself as a consumer, to branching out to knowing what people need and desire in order to get into homes. And I became a top realtor having a license. I'm still named in the top 100 of real estate agents in the United States of America for 2023. And so you can Google that information. If you pull my name up, you can search. I have many accolades, many awards, multi-million-dollar transactions in real estate, made over $4 million my first year, over $5 million. But what changed my heart is not just me being an owner of real estate. I saw that so many people were having disparities in our community, in our culture, that weren't able to get approved. Just little things that, sometimes it was just our fault because we just don't know. But some of the times it was that people just didn't care to give us the information. And so a lot of times minorities, their files are just closed. They don't know why they couldn't pull out equity. They don't know why they can't buy. They didn't know that they were only 5 points away from getting something. Nobody cares about our community. They don't care to explain anything. They don't care to take time out for people who may be rough around the edges. In our culture, in our community, we don't come from real estate. We're just now getting into a space where we're passing down grandma's house. So we still don't even know where we come from as a culture. So just imagine how many people are lacking when it comes to financial literacy, particularly financial dignity. And so keeping your credit in order, understanding how to start that LLC and structure your business so that when you come to a bank, that you're bankable, so that people can recognize how you make money. We're still taking payments under the table for a lot of our businesses. I know people who are stylists who've been styling and dressing people and owning businesses and running restaurants, and they don't have book of business. They don't have bookkeeping. So things like that you need to have in order. So when you come to a bank, then you can get access. So because I noticed the disparity in our community, because I know that we are lacking, we have $1.7 trillion in spending power. So we know that we have money. We can do whatever we want. We can buy the latest iPhone. We can buy the latest car, but we just aren't putting our money towards something that's going to build wealth. And that's where I come in as a financial outlet, as a portal, as a safe space for us to do business. I call it the Underground Railroad for financial literacy, for opportunity, because we don't have people who look like me who reach back. I've never met a bank owner, and you probably never will after this call. Bank owners are not in the community. They're not coming out and talking to people. They're not sitting on the stages with so-and-so and speaking. So things like that, you have to be disruptive when you have a business and when you have a product and when you have a service. And I'm here to be disruptive in the community to show that, look, I care about the culture, I care about the community, and I want to service you. So I'll go in the streets. I'll go to Detroit and walk around in 40-degree weather. I went to Indianapolis in March. It was freezing cold, stand on the corner and talk to people. I've gone to from lengths of here to there, not just in high places, but I touch all places, because it's important for us to understand how important it is to have our stuff in order so that we can have opportunities just like everybody else. So banking for me is not on me, it's in me. And helping people is not on me, it's in me. And the reason why I started that bank is because I feel like if I can do this, I can change the culture and the trajectory of where we are financially and help you set up your kids and their legacy on how to purchase real estate and how to have ownership in this America that we live in.
So powerful. So powerful. Yeah, no, that's really powerful. And I think, that's why I love the team. And this is what you get when you guys join Tavaverse. Those of you that are watching, maybe for the first time or maybe second time or third time, or maybe somebody told you about it. Like, we are really like real people wanting to get real results for the average person so that you can get real assets. And I think probably the number one asset that you can get, and everybody knows, if you know anything about me, I'm a Bitcoin girl. But when it comes down to building sustainability and longevity, you need to have tangible, something that you can touch, right? Because you don't have to wake up in the morning and worry about, is that apartment building disappeared, or if that multiplex has disappeared. Those are assets for real sustainable income. And so those of you that are on here right now, I want you to get back with the person that invited you and say, hey, text me the link. I'm ready to get started. I'm ready to go, because we're going to help you. And I love what you said, Benisha, like, we're coming to the streets. Like, we're going to be in Detroit June 9th and 10th. And we got Orlando, Milwaukee. We're literally walking around neighborhoods and allowing you to be able and looking and assessing properties with you, teaching you what to look for, teaching you to look in the neighborhoods, talking to the neighbors, right? Actually looking at gutters and roofs and the foundation. So you learn how to develop an investor eye. Now, you're going to get amazing teaching every single week, right? That's going to teach you, but it's nothing like that show and tell, that field trip. We call it the real estate field trip, where we're going to be coming to your city, because and you'll be able to put purchase agreements on. When I did Detroit a couple of weeks ago, we literally had, I don't know if she's on here tonight, Tina, but we really literally had somebody put in a purchase agreement because we ran into a really, really good deal. So Brianna, before they get to Benisha's bank, right? There are a lot of misnomers, I think, about credit. I think a lot of people feel like, oh, I got to make all of this money, or I got to have this 800 credit score. And absolutely, we want you to have a high credit score, but there are things that we can do right now to help a person with their spending, right? Cash spending versus credit spending. And we even have a great relationship with American Express, where we're actually helping people buy property with American Express. So
Yes.
talk about some of those things that they're going to learn when they join
Absolutely.
Tyverse.
Absolutely. But one of the things that I love to really inform people about is credit is money that you don't have. And so you can't look at it with a debt mentality, because if you do, you'll always be stuck to credit debt. But when you look at it as a way, like Dr. Jewel said, to really get in position to get that real estate, you'll have banks and lenders who want to do business. Like, I think sometimes we haven't been taught that. I love what Miss Benicia said. Like, we don't understand that banks want to do business with us. Like, you know, they want to help us in the areas of funding, but we have to have our credit together. So one of the things I'd like to share is, for most people, when they look at their credit report, because the average person doesn't know how to read the 3-bureau credit report. So what we had just went over last week, so many people were dropping. I challenged the people to drop a 1 in the chat if you haven't read a 3-bureau credit report in 6 months or more. It was well over 60, 70 people who said, I haven't even pulled a credit report in over a year, because they didn't know how to properly read it. And so we teach you how to even assess your report. The 9 times out of 10, there's an error on the credit report that's going to show you what you need to do to properly repair and restore your credit. So for instance, with the American Express, we've already seen people get approved for hundreds of thousands of dollars in funding before we even launched Tyverse to the public. All they had to do is know the type of power that they had as a consumer. And, you know, it's all about the applications. When you're doing the applications, sometimes we don't know how, like Ms. Benicia said, how to properly set up our business. Some of our businesses haven't been set up, and we don't even make it past the pre-qualification stage on some of these lending applications. And so what we do in Tyverse is we actually have access to over 50 to 100 different banks and lenders that you can use for personal or business funding for whatever your business needs are, whether that's to help with that down payment, whether that's business expansion, marketing. We have the data points to show you before you go around and just applying for all these different banks and lenders, let everybody pull your credit. We have the data points to show you what you can qualify for looking at your credit scores now.
That is so strong. That is so strong. And so what we do is we're going to take all the mystery out, right? We're going to make sure you got the right entity set up. We've got a phenomenal systems educator, which is very important, because sometimes people got to have their docs together. And maybe they haven't had a system. Maybe they don't know what a profit and loss statement is, or maybe they haven't been paying attention to the income and the expenses and things like that. So we're going to actually help you do that. Then we're going to have to actually help you market, once you start getting these properties, how to market it, keep the money in your pocket, opposed to paying Airbnb all the licensing fees. Or maybe some of you don't want to buy real estate. Some of you are like, hey, I want to invest in my bed and breakfast, or I want to invest in, you know, a distribution company, or I want to invest in a shipping company. Like, you get the money pretty much to do whatever it is that you want to do. So Benicia, okay, so obviously they have their credit together. They they submit their docs. What would you say in terms of how many people do you see on average maybe not even having all their documentation together? And again, this is why Tyverse community is so important, because we want to make sure that you can get approved before we even see you to Benicia's Bank, right? So will you talk a little bit about that?
So the beautiful thing is that we have loan programs for all kind of different scenarios. So if you're a business owner, specifically, when your business is making money, you don't need full documentation. So I can process your loan with just your bank statements. Those are things that people don't know. You don't need anything besides a copy of your ID and your bank statement. And perhaps the underwriter may need your P&L, but you should have that if you're running a business, right? We also have loans where we go down to a 580. So you will have to have your 2 years of tax returns filed. But let's just say you're behind. You can also still file your tax returns right before the process starts. You show the receipt, and then it just basically is projecting if you have any payments that you owe to the government. That's really all they're looking for. That's why they want you to file your taxes. Because if we're looking at your income, we want to know what your debt is versus what you have coming in, so we can successfully qualify you for your sufficient amount that you need. I can go up to $5 million in house. And so that's a lot of house. Okay, so if you want to buy something that's outside of the ordinary or you want to live your best dream, you can obtain that. You can go up to $5 million, and that's a standard. I also do commercial. So my commercial division, it covers the rehab loan, it covers the fix and flip, it covers the new construction, it covers those dreams that we want to attain. If you're already a homeowner, maybe you're savvy in the space of real estate and you want to develop a community, you can get that funded. So we go from the primary residence to investment properties. If you want to pull equity out, you're not out of this either. If you own a home and you've owned a home since 2020 up until now, you're sitting on you were a part of the most economic boom that we've ever experienced in our lifetime, where we acquired equity at such a fast amount that now, guess what? You can't just go in your back closet and tap on the wall and coins fall out. You got to come to a bank. So I can do an equity pool for a second mortgage for you, up to 90%, so that you can take some of that cash out and buy more assets, pay down some bills, send your kids to college, whatever you want to do with it. So there's a lot of opportunity that presents itself. We have over 1,000 different loan programs, and everything we do is in-house. Nothing's brokered out. So it's just a lot of opportunity for people, even if your stuff is not in order, to make it make sense, if that makes sense for you. As a business owner, we only need to see your deposits. We only need to see your deposits. So if you have a trust, if you have money going into certain places, yes, you will have to pull it out of the trust. But guess what? It still calculates your deposits. And once you've closed your loan, you put it back in your trust. So there's a way around anything. If you run into situations, we have what's called a letter of explanation. Explain it to us. It doesn't count you out. Student loans don't count you out. You know, bills don't count you out. If you've had a collection on your credit, it doesn't count you out. So don't feel discouraged when people say, oh, well, I don't know if I can. Well, you don't know if you can because you don't try. So if you try, then we can guide you in the right direction. Or just all it takes is for you to have opportunity and means for you to have success. And that's what we're here for, to put everybody in a position of success.
Yeah, that is so good. That's so good. Yes, good.
That's good.
So, you know, this is why the community is so important. I want to just encourage you all that, you know, that are listening. Somebody invited you on here. Tell them, hey, send me the link. What do I need to do? I need to go ahead and get started. You know, you're pretty much just paying $150 a month to have education, from the credit to systems to marketing to real estate to how to structure the deal. I mean, literally, we are a phenomenal community. We really want to see Ebony, the average everyday person who never thought that they could be an investor, because so many people just feel like it's so much I don't know. And what I love is that, you know, even though I'm the visionary behind Tavaverse, I am learning every day, honest to God. Every time I listen to Brianna, every time I listen to Benicia, every time I listen to Marquita or Camille or Phil or, you know, or Candace, like I'm walking away with so much. And really, this is a difference between the person that has a really good experience as an investor and the person who maybe doesn't. You know, real estate is nothing you just want to jump into. Business is nothing you just want to jump into. Getting money, you don't just want to jump into that. Yeah, you want to be strategic. And we teach so many strategies. I'll just share this little really quick one. And then Brianna, I want to come back to you. But, you know, some of you are looking at, we're helping someone right now. They're getting ready to buy for the first time their own home. Suppose them buy their own home. We're looking at, you know, a fourplex, right? So they're going to move in one, right? But Brianna is helping them with their credit now. And then Benicia's going to fund the loan. And so now they're going to have tenants on the other three. So now they no longer have a mortgage. Not only do they not have a mortgage, but now they're profiting from that, right? So we teach you all those kinds of different things. Brianna, how many times would you say a person might count themselves out? Maybe they're thinking about credit the wrong way. We really talk about investment credit, not consumer credit. How many people out there maybe listening right now are thinking, I don't know if that's really for me because I don't have a lot of money, or, you know, my credit is not good. I mean, you're dealing with people like this every day.
Definitely about 90 to 95%. 90 to 95% automatically have counted themselves out. And most of the times when we take a look at the report, it's really not that bad. It's just a fear of what they see. You know, the debt of what they see in the past is really not that bad. Like Ms. Benicia was saying, like, you just never really know until you actually try. And so many people are just such in fear because of what the report says and what the debt is, that sometimes they don't even know that some of the debt on their credit report is untimely now. It shouldn't even be on there anymore. Some of the debt is tied to incorrect information. That's one thing right there. Right now, there's about 2.1 million disputes with the CFPB, which is the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, against the credit bureaus, because there's so many errors on our credit report that because we think the debt is on there, we still think that the credit report is fine. But there are many deep errors down deep in the accounts that many people don't even know about. And so most of the people count themselves out, especially if they have like a 600 or 620. You should believe some of the people say, oh, I'll never be able to do that. Like, we got a person approved for over $100,000. I'm sorry, $149,000 with a 680 credit score. She didn't even know she had a 680 until she did the application. And so it's really all about just taking that first step and just really coming into a community. I think that's what we have here at Top of Verse. We have a community, and everybody is like feeding off the motivation of one another. And so when you come from being a loner by yourself, thinking it can never happen for you, and then you jump in a community where it's happening for people every single day, like, then you start getting, your faith just starts building up, saying, you know what, let me hop on with Miss Benicia, let me jump on with Candace, let me hop on with Phil, let me hop on with Camille, and let me see what I need to do to shift every area of my financial life. Like, that's what I love about Top of Verse. It's the asset building, and it's the knowledge. That knowledge is what we're going to pass down to our children and our children's children.
Yeah, absolutely. And shout out to Kevin Flores on here. I met this brother in Miami over the weekend at a wealth conference. Hey, Kevin, glad to see you on here. Somebody said that they had a bankruptcy in 2017. They're a little concerned about that. And then I want you to speak to that real quick about that bankruptcy. And then Benicia, I want to come back to you and ask you, obviously, we're doing a lot together. We just launched a podcast together, you guys. Yay!
I was just going to ask you about that.
Called the Wealth Chat, where we're talking about business banking and real estate. And, Benicia and I and Brianna, all of us, have all the educators and Connect partners. We all have the same core values. We want to see people's lives change. We're not interested in just helping you get one business or one apartment. We really want to see you get 50 doors, 100 doors, 500 doors, and continue to scale. So real quick, Brianna, speak to the 2017 bankruptcy. What would be your advice there? And then obviously you want to join Top of Verse so you can get the whole tea, but just what's a quick little strategy that you would tell them there?
Absolutely. So if you have a bankruptcy, you just want to check and see if it has been discharged or dismissed. Because if it hasn't been discharged or dismissed, it's going to be kind of hard to get that removed off your credit report legally. And so we do everything 100% legal over here at Top of Verse. We do factual disputing. And so your first step is to find out, has it been discharged? Has it been dismissed? And if it has been, what accounts did you associate with the bankruptcy? You want to ensure that those accounts are not still reported on your credit report as well, because they should be within the bankruptcy. So they should either be charged off or zeroed out. And then you want to jump over in Top of Verse so I can show you how to get that removed off.
I love it. I think Joyce is already in the Top of Verse family. So, because tomorrow, well, you're on tomorrow night. Is
tomorrow
it tomorrow
night? Yes.
Tomorrow night. What are you talking about tomorrow night? Because tomorrow I know going to be real good.
Yeah, so tomorrow we actually start the disputing process. So we've already went over how to pull a 3 bureau, print it out, identify the inaccuracies through the date opens, date close, account balances. We even did the personal identifiers. I can't drop that jewel right there, but they've already identified everything, and now we're going to tackle the credit bureaus.
Okay, so, and you guys will be able to go back and watch the replays for those of you that missed. Eric already has good credit. Yes, we'll help you get a multifamily. I mean, we can get you approved. Really, I mean, the approvals come so fast from Benicia's bank. I mean, what, Benicia, 24, 72 hours? I mean, they're coming through fast.
Typically, I had somebody today, they were still in the application and one of the guys called them. So it depends. It depends on how many people are in the queue, but generally the same day. If it comes after hours, which means after the bank closes, then you'll get the next day. So up to 24 hours, but never any longer than that.
Yeah, I mean, my docs were in on the Thursday at 4, and by 7, I was approved. I was like, girl, the fastest I've ever had in my entire life. Yeah, Brianna.
I was going to say, I just want to let everybody know who's watching tonight, this is unheard of. in the industry. I've never seen people get approvals back or, next steps back within 24 or 48 hours. It's not happening in the everyday banking arena. If you're dealing with traditional banking, or some people go to the biggest bank that they bank with for years, right? 20, 30 years. And when you finally want to do something, you go to that bank and they turn you away. They don't have any programs available for you. You bank with them for so many years, and then you leave out just sad. And I'm here to tell you right now, in this platform, I've never seen this many people approve for this type of amount of. She said 600. Ms. Benicia, did you say 650 million?
Yeah, 650 million. We haven't had anybody do it all in one setting. They applied for 650. They ended up with 357 million. So we haven't had anybody max out, but it's available.
That is unheard of. Yeah, that's unheard of. So somebody was asking about the credit. Now, so we don't actually fix it. Now, if you want, we have an outsourced company that will fix it for you. But what we do is give you the education where you can fix it yourself. And I honestly recommend just get the education, because I promise you don't know all the plays you probably think you do to build assets. You really need to be getting on those sessions so you really understand how to maximize it. But we do have a partner that can fix it for you if that's what you want to do. Benicia, I'm excited, girl, about our podcast, The Wealth Chat. We had so much fun filming the other week. We filmed a beautiful African-American girl who, and 3 years ago, she wasn't even in real estate. Now she owns 3 hotels. And so there's a lot of major moves that are happening with people that are brand new to the industry. Talk about how much community has really meant to you in just your overall success and mentorship.
Yeah, I mean, community means everything. I wouldn't be here without, first of all, God giving me the message. And second, me being able to lean on and understand what the community and the culture needed. So, we can't get anywhere by ourselves. We all need each other. And, all of us know something that the other person doesn't know. So for us to all be successful, we have to reach back and give back. And collectively, if we all have the same goal, we can go up together. So community means everything to me. I can't do anything without the culture.
Yeah. I mean, we're always open to learning and meeting people, and you just be surprised at how much faster you can grow. I know I was asking you about, like, after I do this one deal and okay, I'm ready to buy another apartment building. I'm like, how long do I have to wait? You're like, wait. So once somebody gets one multifamily, what would you say on average that you like to see a person wait? Because again, I want you all to be thinking, don't just think one apartment or one multiplex or one house. Be thinking how many doors. And that's one of the things we're going to do, is help you to really frame a real vision. Because most people haven't had a vision to be an investor, and that's okay, because that's what we're going to do. We're going to help you frame a vision. But on average, what does that look like, Benicia?
So the beautiful thing about community is that you get a chance to see the things that you didn't think were possible. Because I know somebody, he buys a house every week. He's in New York. He purchases real estate in other states because New York is crazy expensive. And he's buying up multifamily units in Milwaukee, Illinois, Indiana, all different parts of the Midwest, Michigan. And he sees platforms every single day, an opportunity. I know someone in New York, they have the land bank access. These guys are buying land all over the country every single week. And I'm not talking about as a group, I'm talking about individuals purchasing every week because they see opportunity. So when you see things like that, when you get involved with communities like that, you realize, hey, there's more things that are going on out here than I thought about. There are ways that I can build up and do things with little money down. If I put my money together, maybe we can all form a group. You may meet another like-minded person in this group. The goal is for you to build. The goal is for you to share information. If you have a neighbor that's next to you, you guys may have the same idea. You guys create an LLC, and now you bought a multifamily. Now you own a commercial building. Now you're operating a business. Now you're owning rental properties. So don't just think individually, think collectively as a group. So that's the whole importance of community, and understanding and seeing that, hey, these things are real. These things are existing. We're not doing anything that's new. We're just now getting involved in it. So it sounds like breaking news to us because we don't know. Again, it's just lack of information, lack of knowledge. But when you have a group like this is how you get your next inspiration. This is how you get to your next level. So we can't go anywhere without each other, like I said. But yeah, I think it's just so much I can say. I could go on for days.
I love it. No, we're living it, and there's a lot. I mean, we're just, tonight's live was just like an overview to basically paint a picture and to let you know what the possibilities are. And I like what you said, Benicia. You're like, hey, there's people out here buying property every week, and coming back to your bank repeatedly and getting approved, and they're scaling, and they're not just interested in one property. And even with the like the fourplex, if somebody wanted to run that play, they find a fourplex, let's just say for 400,000. If they're living in that would be then considered their primary, and their down payment would be a lot less, maybe around 3 or 5%.
Yep. So it's 3.5%. It's actually called house hacking. So if you've never heard of this, you're like, how does this exist? Google house hacking. It's many, many, many articles, many videos about it. If you buy up to 4 units, FHA loan covers up to 4. And so as long as you use one as a primary residence, you only have to have a primary residence for 1 year. It's not an indefinite thing. It's only for 1 year. So essentially you have people who buy multifamilies, they live in 1 unit for a year, they exit out of it, they turn it into a rental property, and then they move to another multifamily and do the exact same thing. As long as you close that FHA loan out, you can have another one. And so it exists. And that's only 3.5% down. That's unheard of. Like, you're getting into things with minimal. I have a friend of mine, he's actually an actor, and he's doing the same exact thing in LA, where he's buying a 4-unit building and he's going to occupy one of the units. He got a $2.1 million loan, putting down 3.5%, because in LA, the cost of living is higher. FHA loan guideline goes by the state you live in, and then it has like a loan limit breaking down for each state. So California, New Jersey, certain places like that where they have higher loan costs or higher cost of living, Hawaii, those places, the loan limits are higher than if you were to do this in Milwaukee or Pennsylvania somewhere, right? So he essentially was able to get a $2 million loan under the FHA program, where he's going to occupy one of the units, and the units are renting for $5,000-$6,000 a month. And now he's buying this whole building with 70 grand down versus putting down 20%, which would have cost him like $300,000.
Wow.
So that's a real hack. That's the play right there.
That's a play for sure.
That's definitely the play. So, but that's the thing, Benicia, Brianna, that I love. Every time we talk, we're sharing, this happened, that happened. I mean, you're going to get the strategies that you're going to learn are really going to set you up. Like, for real. Not just you up, but your spouse, your children, your family, your friends. I mean, we are forever sharing strategies. And I mean, even Brianna, some stuff that you were talking about that American Express did in the back in the corner, girl. Yeah. I was like, I don't know American Express was getting down. I mean, it's legal. I don't mean like that, but I didn't even know that they had certain departments that are looking to support investors. Like assets, which like your like credit card.
They support it, and I was going to ask Ms. Benicia as well. Our goal here at Top of Verse is also generational wealth. And so even in the credit education portion, we're teaching families how to set their children up. Their credit start at the age of 12 years old. For those of you guys who didn't know, you can start your children's credit at 12. So by the time they turn 18, they have a 725 or higher credit score. And our goal here is you should have your child a property. So for me, my son is 14 now. By the time my son turns 18, I want him to already have had a property, particularly a duplex that's already generating him an income that he's going to be able to, let's say if he goes to college, I've already told my husband, we want to find what's the multifamily unit near that college that he can live in one, and then, we can rent out the other. So the house hacking is so important. I want to ask Ms. Benicia, what's the lowest credit score that you recommend that will get a great interest rate that will also be good for the buyer? What do you suggest?
Okay, so no low credit score is going to give you a good interest rate. Okay, so let's not even like play that game. You come in with a 580, you're going to get 580 standards. You come in with a 700, you're going to get 700 standard. You come in with a 740, you'll unlock the golden ticket. That's where the best rates really lie. So if you're trying to improve your credit, instead of just going basic, trying to get to a 620, go all the way. Just get all the way up to a 740 plus, and then you'll be able to have opportunity to get the best of the best when it comes to banking. But if you just want to get your foot in the door, don't get, too caught up on, oh my God, I don't have a 700, I only have a 620 or whatever. It's a-okay. You're still eligible. At the end of the day, we have something called refinance. So once you purchase the property, you can always refinance. There are no limits. You can refinance as many times as you want to in your lifetime. The only loan that has a guideline on refinancing is FHA. You have to make at least 6 payments if you enter a FHA loan. They will not allow you to refinance before you've made at least 6. And that's because it's a government program. But you can't ask for sugar and get, you know what I mean?
That's it. Oh, wow.
Sugar cane farmer, you gotta slow walk a little bit sometimes.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, if you get in, and let's just say you did purchase at a 580 because you saw an opportunity that you just couldn't resist, you work with your credit on the back end, and when it's time for you to refinance, guess what? Most likely you'll get a better interest rate anyway, because the market is going so up and down right now that when people started 6 months ago, they were getting 9% interest rates. Right now, the interest rates are about 4 and 6%. So things change. So don't wait. There's never a right time. There's never a right number. There's never a right opportunity. If you have a goal, get in the game. It's like double dutch. I always tell people, just jump in. Stop waiting for the best day, because it's never a good time to have a kid. It's never the best day to get married. It's not the best day to die, right? It's always Christmas tomorrow. Somebody's birthday was going to be tomorrow. Somebody's such and such was the next day. So it's never going to be the best time. You just have to get in there and just take your opportunity and go for it. And then I wanted to go back to the bankruptcy, because when you have a bankruptcy on your credit, there's a difference between Chapter 7 and Chapter 13. Know what you are filing, because one of those are not going to give you the best opportunities. They're going to put you at a standstill. The one that you eliminate everything, you don't pay for anything, the Chapter 7, that's where you're going to get put in the holding tank. If you have a Chapter 13, guess what? VA loans, FHA loans, you only have to wait 12 months in order to purchase real estate. I just got a lady who's still in bankruptcy. She's repaying on Chapter 13. She's a veteran, so she's getting a VA loan. I got her pre-approved for like 500 and something thousand. And she's in the process of the Chapter 13 right now. So they will write an exception letter for you if you have a government program, FHA and VA, or USDA, which is for rural areas, 10,000 population of people or below. So, I just want to put that out there too, because people think, oh my God, I had to file this bankruptcy, I'm canceled. You're not canceled. The only one that's kind of canceled is Chapter 7, but you have to wait a period. So I think for conventional loans, you have to wait 2 years. No, 7 years for Chapter 7. You have to wait 7 years. The other ones, you just have to wait 2 years. So any type of government program on the conventional side, you have to wait 7 years or 2 years for a Chapter 7. But if you do a Chapter 13, then it's more flexible, particularly with government programs. So there's just a lot of opportunities for those with different kind of scenarios. And I use the word opportunity a lot in Bankable. So
no, that's funny, because I used opportunity this morning.
Yes.
That's my word for this morning, opportunity. Top of verse is giving that, Dr. Jewel. So let me ask you ladies about this podcast y'all got. So who is it for? Because it was giving me real, wealth vibes, women vibes, building wealth, building generation. Like it was just phenomenal. I'm excited. Where can we subscribe? How can we join and tap in?
Okay, you want me to? Okay.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay, so our podcast is called The Wealth Chat, guys. And what we are doing is we have created a portal of information about business, banking, and real estate. Okay, somewhere where you can't get anything like this before. Again, a bank owner, an amazing businesswoman who has been in business since she was 20 years old. Like, this is crazy. You can't get this kind of information anywhere else. You don't have any podcasts out there with 2 Black women giving the game like this. We have amazing guests that are lined up. We have people who are going to come on and talk about their story in business and banking and real estate. We have a woman who came on and she was working corporate America during pandemic, and now her business is international. She's a real estate agent, became a broker, has agents working for her, and now she's overseas in international countries. And just a couple of years ago, she was dealing with the challenge of pandemic. Like Jules said, we have a hotel owner. A couple years ago, she wasn't in real estate, but the seed was planted in her just by knowing someone who gave her information. And from that point, she just took it and ran with it. She worked at a hotel just like a regular person. She had no thoughts of being a hotel owner. And now she owns 3 hotels, and she's Black. She's not even 40 years old yet.
Wow.
So, just meeting people who are in the business, who are just like us, who look just like us, who speak our language, who come from the places and spaces that we come from. But the whole goal is for us to empower each other with information. And so it's just us sharing our skills, our knowledge, how we got there, our ideas, and how we can help other people achieve wealth. So it's an amazing podcast, and it's on YouTube. So go to YouTube right now and type in The Wealth Chat, WEALTH, and then chat, Wealth Chat, and go and follow and subscribe. We already have a video up, and every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern, we launch.
Oh, that's gonna be phenomenal. Phenomenal. Congratulations, ladies.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
We had too much fun filming too last week. We'll be back in Atlanta filming too, and eventually we'll open it up for people to come hang out with us. But it was so cool too because we interviewed Eric Whitehead, and most people know him from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. And you just don't realize that a lot of these people are real business people. He's doing some phenomenal things, and so I love it because sometimes people, like I said, count themselves out. Like, we are on a mission to make sure everybody count yourself in. Stop saying what you can't do. Stop talking about your challenges because you do not have the only challenge. I promise you, we've seen it in other places. Benicia just told you she approved somebody literally in the middle of bankruptcy right now. So all you got to do is give yourself a yes, give Tavaverse a yes, get back with the person that invited you. But before we get ready to end tonight, I wanted to bring on Miss Nicole. She reached out to me, and her testimony is just phenomenal. Y'all got to hear this. So, Nicole, tell us real quickly. Thank you so much for joining tonight. I really appreciate your feedback so speedily. We were talking last week about Tavaverse and everything that we offered, but will you tell the people what you do?
Hi, everyone. I am Nicole King, and I do a lot. I wear a lot of hats. I am a daycare, childcare provider. Been doing that for 23 years, and I opened up another daycare this year. I am an owner of 2 salons, and can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, you sound good.
I am an owner of 2 salons, and my cousin, who is a beautician, she is salon manager, so she handles that. And I also have 2 rental properties that are short term. So I rent those out to traveling workers, mostly traveling nurses, for 3 to 6 months, and now up to a year because they like the hospitals and they extend it to a year. So that's awesome. And I just wanted to scale and go to another level. And I was looking for someone to help me. There wasn't anybody here to help me as far as millionaire status. So I got along by myself with God, and I said, God, help me to go to another level. And he kept putting Jewel Tankard in my head. And I just pulled over from driving one day, and I was like, God, are you sure Jewel Tankard? And he said, yes. And when I called her, she had told me that you just launched this in May. So I knew it was God. And I'm so excited. And I just signed up last week, and I've already listened to 12 videos of the teacher. Phenomenal. I got my credit checked. I just did everything. I just was doing stuff when I was listening to Candace a few minutes ago. It's just blessing me left and right. And I'm so excited to go to that next level. I want financial freedom. I want to travel. And I just, I want to have passive income. That's everything for me. And that's everything that Jewel has set out to say I can reach these goals. And it's just such a blessing for me to be on this awesome, awesome team. And I just love Camille with the systems and just getting organized. And I just want to share something really quick. I had some children that wanted to start my daycare, and they were late. And I said, where are you? And they said, we're here. We're outside. Are you a Touch of Class salon? So I invited parents to my salon, and I needed them to be at my child care facility. So that organization and me wearing all these hats, I sent parents to a salon, and they're supposed to be coming to my daycare. So all of that is needed. And yeah, I just forgot to pay my taxes last year. So I ran out of my LOC. So I need ways to find other ways to use money to buy properties. And they're just, you guys are just answering questions every day. I teach my husband it. When I listen to a video, I sit him down and he's listening and he loves it. And it's just everything. And I'm so glad to be a part of it.
Wow, that is amazing. Thank you so much, Nicole, for getting on and sharing your testimony. And I just love how, she just took the bull by the horn and said, hey, I've been blessed and I own some property, I own some business, but it's really just time for me to scale and go to the next level. And the reality is we all need each other to go to the next level. And so again, thank you for being a part of the Tavares family. Thank you for coming on here and, sharing your testimony. And thank you for sending those properties. She's already sent me some properties. We're about to be sending you over your bank an application because we've already seen the commercial properties that she's ready to buy. Her credit is already in place, but she's still saying, hey, I need to plug into Brianna because I want to make sure that I'm maximizing everything that I have. And I think that's really where we're at. So, whether you are renting in an apartment, single parent, or maybe own properties already, I think that, you'll find a ton of value here at Tavaverse. So girls, real quick, right before we get ready to end. And again, thank you, Nicole, so much for joining tonight. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. All right. So Benisha and Brianna, like before we get ready to end tonight, what would be kind of like one of the main things that you would kind of leave with the hearers that are on tonight that might be on the fence? Because y'all already know nothing happens until you make a decision, like for real.
Absolutely. Oh, go ahead.
So for me, I don't like to peer pressure anybody. So if you like the current situation that you are in, if you don't want to build generational wealth for your family, if you are too scared to raise your credit, if you don't want to earn any additional income, then yeah, this is not for you. This is for the people who want to do more. This is for the people who want to learn more, who want to be better in life, who want to achieve financial security, who don't want to work for the rest of their lives. There are people who own units that make money, that are giving them residual income, a return on your investment. The fastest way to build wealth is through equity. Yes, you can invest in crypto, you can invest in stocks, but real estate has been proven to build equity. It turns a profit. So if you don't want to build equity, if you don't want to invest in real estate and let it sit and let that pot of gold build up, let somebody else buy it. It's okay. Like, you don't have to stand in the way of anybody. Just move to the side and let the people that want to do it, do it. And then you watch them prosper. And then pretty soon you'll be asking them, how did you do it? So either you're going to jump in now or you're going to jump in later. But at the end of the day, don't feel pressure to do anything that you're not ready to do. Stand on where you are and let everybody else just around you build wealth and show you what it's about. And we'll be okay with it. I've been doing it for 20 years. So I got here because I stood on my word and I invested. I bought my first house when I was 19 years old. And I put down $12,000 of my own money to invest in that real estate. And it made me a multi-millionaire. And I don't regret one ounce of it, one bit of it. So good luck to everybody in their journey. And I hope I see you on the other side.
Man, that is so strong. I want to say this too, real quick. I was thinking about this. Somebody had told me, they were like, in 07, 08, I needed cash. So I sold a property that was already cash flowing $10,000 a month. And I said, so do you think that was a smart decision? It was cash flowing. So why would you sell it? And so they said, no, not now, not now. That's why I'm joining the community. You got to be able to bounce stuff off of each other. I asked Benisha, some stuff today, like, okay, what about this, that, and the third? Last week, Brianna, I'm asking her all the time, hey, what about this? Iron sharpens iron. You got to get in a community of people that are smarter than you, that this is what they do. Like, what I love about what we have is all of our educators, that's what they do. Keita is studying marketing all the time, right? Not just sometimes. So you're literally paying Patrick for them to be able to expedite what they've already learned. I like to tell people, they're like, oh, such and such is an expert. Baby, they are master students. They've just committed to saying, hey, you know what? I'm going to study and keep studying and keep studying. And so now you can come and say, hey, what about this? Hey, what about that? So Brianna, what would you share with the people that are thinking about joining Typaverse?
I'm gonna say I don't like peer pressure as well. I love everything Ms. Benicia just said, and I'm also gonna say, you have to just see the value of opportunity. And some people, I hate to say it, they're just not sick and tired of being tired. Financial freedom is contagious. When you look at the everyday person, I'm pretty sure everybody is very rich dad, poor dad. The worst thing you can do is be in a situation where you're seeing somebody else doing better and you continue to have a decision to remain the same. And so here at Typaverse, we're changing and transforming lives every single day. So it's kind of like, it's really not if it's going to work or if it's not going to work, because it's definitely going to work. But you have to make it work and you have to make the decision. And so, whatever's stopping you tonight, get back to the person who invited you to the call, because sometimes we just have to press the gas and go. I was a high school dropout. I had my son at 15 years old. I don't have a college degree. I don't have a high school diploma, but everything I've been able to build is all because I invested first. I took the risk first and I asked questions later. And sometimes you have a hit and you have a miss, but the hits outweigh the misses, and I'm telling you right now, Typaverse is on the brink of being one of the number one financial asset education platform there is. I researched, there's no other platform. Like, I'm looking at the comments, everybody is saying that I've never heard of anything like this before. Just even the things that we shared tonight is free information. So just think about when you become a member, the paid information, the paid access, the paid resources. And so sometimes we just have to make that decision and say yes.
That's so good. And you know what I love about all of us is that everybody's in their brilliance, but we all authentically love people.
Yes.
We authentically love people, and we're all very grassroots people. Like, we're not afraid to get, it's really how, one of the things that helped President Obama won the presidency. I mean, him and Michelle were just grassroots people. They were in the streets of Chicago. They were in the streets campaigning. They were probably, I would say, hands down, the most touchable, approachable. They were people. They were everyday people. They weren't like in some Eiffel Tower, like, oh, we're here, you're there. And that's what we have here in this community. All of the educators and all of our Connect partners are like, for real, for the people. We want to see you authentically win. Now, unlike my cohorts, I'm going to put a little pressure. No, but for real, like, make the decision. We're about to go into the second half of the year. So you got to ask yourself, where do I want to be when we come into 2024? Who do I want to become? And sometimes you can't wait for other people. When I first started investing in real estate in 2016, my husband, he's like, I grew up in the hood. I ain't trying to buy in the hood. And it's like, I loved it. I didn't grow up in the hood, but I loved it. I love going and talking to the neighbors. And I love telling Miss Johnson that we're, about to rehab this house and I'm buying the one across the street and we're going to take this lot next door and buy it from the land bank and make it a park. Like, I love that. And so I had to trust my gut. Now he's very proud of me for what I've been able to build, but that was something he spoke to me. In the Bible, God wasn't telling everybody to go talk to the king. He told one woman, and her name was Esther. He wasn't telling everybody to free the people. He told one man, his name was Moses. So many times when God gets ready to do something in your life, everybody else is not going to hear what you hear because he's not talking to them like he's talking to you. But when you obey, you're going to end up bringing hundreds and thousands of people with you because he's not interested in just blessing you. When he blessed Abraham, he said, I'm blessing you and many nations. And so there are a lot of people that are waiting for your one act of obedience. One act of obedience can change an entire nation. And so I want to encourage you that there is a mandate on your life. If you were on this live tonight, it's because it is a mandate on your life. And that same mandate, this on Benicia, she said that she doesn't just own the bank is in her. She gave birth to that bank on the inside of her. That bank was in her before she was even in her mama's womb. It was a prenatal assignment that God put on the inside of her. And what happened was she came into a point of discovery. And that's what's happening with you all right now. You are coming into a point of discovery that I am discovering who I really am as an investor. I am more than just a mom, more than just a dad, more than just a husband, more than just a CEO, more than just, I work that job. There is more to you. And so you are on this live tonight discovering purpose. You are here hearing plans. There is a blueprint that has been set before you. All you got to do is run the play. And so get back with that in person that invited you on here. We cannot wait to love on you. June 9th and 10th, sign up for that right now. We're going to be in Detroit. Literally, Benisha's Bank is going to be doing pre-approvals on the spot. But you got to be a Tavaverse member. We're going to go out in the field. You can literally buy multifamilies on the spot. Good deals. I'm talking good deals.
Good deals.
$10,000, $30,000, $50,000. Okay. So Benisha and Brianna, I love y'all, sisters. Thank you so much for jumping on here tonight. Everybody, Nicole, thank you. Your testimony was amazing. I thank you for that encouragement. Get back with that person that invited you. You guys have a good night. God bless. Bye-bye.